Most people are learning AI in a completely wrong way. They're stuck in tutorial loops, overthinking every prompt, or waiting to get enough time to play around with ChatGPT or master ChatGPT before they even start. The truth is, you don't need any extra time, or you don't need some prompt engineering course. You don't need to even feel ready or dedicate the time to it. The best way to learn AI is by using it. It's by solving the problems that you already have. It's by following the curiosity that you already have. It's by building cool things that you wish existed and that matter to you. So in this video, I'm sharing 11 super simple ways to get better at AI right now that will put you ahead of the curve of people who are overthinking it still, even if you're busy, even if you're overwhelmed, and even if you constantly feel behind. So whether you're just starting out, or you're already running a one-person business, or you're working in your corporate job still and you're just wondering what the future holds for you with everything happening with AI, this is how you build AI skill in a way that is fun and that's actually gonna bring you results. If you're new here, hi, I'm Elena, and on this channel we explore how to use AI and automation to start and scale your online business. I spent over 8 years in corporate working with AI and recently pivoted to being an AI solopreneur. On this channel, I share a lot of tutorials behind the scenes and tips and tricks that I use myself to build my online business and that I know that will be super helpful to you if you're doing the same. So if you're a solopreneur, an online business owner or creator, and that sounds interesting to you, make sure to subscribe to this channel and join our community here on YouTube. Okay, number one is actually starting with a real problem that you already have. So forget trying to learn AI or getting a course that is super abstract, that it's about everything and nothing at the same time. Start with an actual problem that you're currently facing in your life, in your business, in your relationship, in any context of your life. So maybe you're stuck in pivoting your business or outlining your next offer. Maybe content creation feels like such a time suck and you just don't want to spend that much time on it. Maybe you are so tired of meal planning every single week and you want to eat healthy, you want your family to eat healthy, you want your kids to get veggies, and you're just tired of fighting with them every single dinner when they don't want to do it. Like, all of those things are real life problems that you have, and this is absolutely perfect examples of how to really get up to speed with what ChatGPT or any other LLM can offer. So you go to ChatGPT and you say, this is what I'm facing currently. My kids don't want to eat anything for dinner, I'm out of ideas, I want to get in them some veggies, I'm allergic to this, they're lactose intolerant, like whatever. Describe your situation and ask ChatGPT to create a 7-day meal plan that is optimized for seasonal produce for where you're from in the world, that is optimized for you having 2 kids of this ages, and then it's fun for them to eat. Ask it to create a meal plan, then ask it to create a grocery list for you. Make sure it knows which country you live in and give examples of the store you usually go to, and just give all this context, and it will give you the solution to your problem. So if the problem is that you spend too much time on planning the meals and it takes way too much energy and it's not fun for you, that is the solution. You will get back those hours to your day or to your week. You will have more fun with your kids and at the dinner table, and even more fun probably creating healthier recipes. Let's say if you are running an online business and you're feeling like, okay, I want to pivot a little bit and unlock a new income stream, but I'm not sure what it is. Same thing. You go to ChatGPT, you just describe your problems. This is what I'm facing. How can you help me navigate this? So it can be as open as possible, but it all starts with you actually providing context of what challenge or what problem are you facing in your life. In the beginning, it's going to be messy. Maybe you won't get the answers that you will be like, wow, this is amazing. But remember, this is where majority people will give up and they will say, this is no better than Google, or this just AI is not there yet. This is the crazy thing that I've been hearing. Yeah, I'm going to get back when this tool is better. Like, when you get back when this tool is better, like, everyone else will be already so way ahead of you that when you're starting, it's going to be harder and harder to catch up. And the reason why you need to solve something that is already existing, that is already bothering you in your life, is because you will learn so much faster when your skin is actually in the game, when you're actually facing this problem and you just want to resolve this problem. So when you're solving something meaningful, not just like watching some theoretical example that you don't actually care about. So number 2 is following your curiosity. And I think this is an amazing entry point. So a lot of people think that it's like a ladder of AI tools that you need to master in a particular order, that you have to start with with ChatGPT and then you go and take the next one and then you learn how to vibe code. Like, honestly, there is no ladder. Like, it's all really low barrier entry at the moment, and it's just getting better and better. And so you don't need to start with ChatGPT. You don't even need to like approach learning AI like other people do or other people's teaching you to do. So start with whatever feels exciting. So let me give you an example. If you are a visual person, right? If you love creating images, if you have hobbies that are about aesthetics, if you love visuals, try other tools. Try the tools that are generative AI tools, but that are generating images or videos. So try Midjourney, try VO3, try Runway. If you prefer voice or audio, like for example, if you are a coach or a mindset coach, and sometimes you would record this audio notes for your clients, or you would record some meditations for your clients. Play around with 11 Labs. Play around with AI storytelling tools. If you love writing and if you want to see, if you've been dreaming about writing a book and you just want to explore how AI can help you, go to Claude and let it help you identify some storytelling models that you can explore, let you learn more about like what would it mean to publish your own book, right? Let's say if you have kids and you want to kill two birds with one stone, and you both want kids to start understanding what AI is and you want to explore yourself, create like a good night story for them, create some videos like cartoons together with them, turn their paintings into cartoons. There's so many ways to play around with that, but it doesn't have to necessarily start with ChatGPT. ChatGPT can do a lot of it, right? But also if you feel drawn towards something else, like if you're already using Canva, for example, there's so many ways that you can explore using AI in that tool. Pick whatever you feel curious about, let that be the entry point for you, and then just take it one step at a time. So tip number 3 is treat AI like a creative partner, like a co-creator, and not just a search bar. Honestly, if I hear one more person saying that they're using ChatGPT instead of Google, I'm just gonna burst into tears, because it's a faulty approach to start with, honestly, because you're assuming that you're just coming to answers. Like, you're still treating it like a search engine, whereas its power lays so much deeper than that. So the fastest way to get better at prompting and at using AI and getting better results is to stop treating it like a search engine and start actually treating it like a collaborator. So like we said in previous point, instead of saying, what is this? What is the best thing for the best thing? It's give it context. Always start with you. This is where I am. Here's what I'm working on. Help me with the next steps. Tell me how you can help me. So be clear also with your goals. Set your context, your vision, your goals, everything that tells the LLM about you, because that's when the best results. Because like when we search something into Google, like we still have to go through like hundreds of Google results, right, to see what is actually relevant to what we're asking. And when you have done, it takes so much time to figure that out. But here, the bigger power is not to use it in the same way, but it's rather to take it a level deeper and understand that by providing more context and by providing your goals, you will skip this reviewing hundreds of Google searches, and you would actually arrive to something that is probably 99% will be relevant to what you're searching for. Ask for feedback. What am I missing here? How can this be better? So it's really not about a perfect prompt. It's not about a perfect framework or a perfect way to ask it. It's really just about the dialogue. And the better you communicate, the more comfortable you are in providing feedback, in saying, okay, this works for me, this is great. Help it understand what you're after and help it navigate to give you the best advice. And another thing here is, if you're an online business owner or solopreneur or a creator and you really want to level up your game when it comes to using ChatGPT or any other LLM for your business, make sure to download the free resource that I have in the description of this video. And which is some cool use cases with the prompts included that you can just copy paste and just try it out. Use it as your starting point. Sometimes I feel like maybe it's hard to imagine, even if you're starting out, like maybe it's even hard to imagine what to look for, what to ask for. So those are just some ideas and some prompts that will keep you going, and then you can start your dialogue and continue your dialogue from there. So feel free to download it in the description below. It's entirely free, and I hope it's going to be helpful. Moving on. So number 4 is actually building something small just for you. A lot of people feel like when it comes to building stuff, so not just using AI to give answers or to get guidance or just using it as a collaborator, you actually can build things with AI. You can build apps, you can build web pages, you can build those kind of previously very complex sort of interfaces without having any coding tools. And a lot of people feel like they have to master ChatGPT first and then move on to this kind of tools, vibe coding tools like my favorite Lovable, like Bolt. Those kind of tools are so intuitive and easy to use that you literally can learn prompting there. The tool can guide you. As long as you know what you want to build, the tool will guide you to that. And I think the easier part with getting going is, for example, going to Lovable and building something that just feels really like a fun personal project. So if you're like me, I love productivity, personal development, and I've been struggling to find a productivity app. And you can just go to Lovable and describe exactly what you want, because no other apps worked for you. You probably have a pretty good idea. What would you like to see in this app? What kind of features would you like to have? And then you can just build it. You can tell Lovable, this is what I want to build. This is the features I want to have. Build this for me. And it will build you an app. And yes, it's maybe not going to be ready to go to onboard other customers into this app, but just build this for you. Something that feels fun, something that feels like solves your problem, and something where you could just overcome this thinking that you have to be so much more advanced to actually build stuff. You actually don't, but I totally get that there is this mental kind of hurdle. So overcome this by just building something over a weekend. I'll give you an example. A couple of weekends ago, my husband is really into sourdough baking, so we were just sitting on a Saturday night, and he was frustrated that some measurements of his starter or whatever those people do was off, and we just built together. In 2 hours we built a web page which helps you calculate how much flour, how much time you have to proof it, all those things. I'll put it on the screen here so you can just take a look what it became, and it became pretty cool, and it's fully functional, and he's actually using it right now. Now he keeps saying that he wants more features, so we're gonna work on that, but that's been such a fun experience. And once you build something for it, once you've had this creative itch and then you scratch that itch, I can promise you there is no going back. You will be obsessed with building stuff. And this is one of the most highly leveraged skills for the next coming years. I can promise you that. So if you find this entry point into that, and if you make it easy and smooth and fun for you, you're just going to be ahead 99% of the people. So think about productivity app that you've been missing. Think about any cooking app, some kids activity app, or a custom app to track your creative or spiritual habits. Truly could be anything. You can use Lovable to actually build the stuff. You can also use ChatGPT as collaborator in that, right? Back to our previous point, go to ChatGPT and say, this is what I want to build in Lovable. Give me some tips, what should I think about? How should I structure my prompt? And it will just guide you through the whole thing. So number 5 is repurposing one idea into 5 different formats. And that's just an example. It could be 6 formats. It doesn't matter. Tip number 5 is repurpose one idea into 5 different formats. And this is a very hands-on kind of pragmatic one, right? So if you are creating content, you can see how AI can basically stretch it, or what can it do for you. So for example, if you have a blog post, and this is a super basic example, you can ask ChatGPT or Claude to turn it into a different format. So it could be a YouTube video script, it could be social media captions, it could be a reel script, it could be a LinkedIn post, right? It could be really repurposed. Or for example, if you have an email and you want to create a lead magnet, or you have conversation with your coaching clients and you want to create that into some sort of additional resource for them. So any type of long form content could be repurposed in multiple different ways. And this is a fun way to test what ChatGPT or any other LLM or AI can do. It will give you the idea of how versatile can it be, and it will also, by default, you will learn how to give feedback, how to learn to prompt, how to make it sound like you, how to make it sound towards your audience, and things like that. So that's a really cool way of learning. Number 6 is actually surround yourself with people who are also learning and who are also building. What I'm seeing right now is that a lot of people are ending up in this kind of perception that are either behind and everyone else is ahead of them. I just listened to the podcast the other day. 2 guys were talking about building their app, and they were like, yeah, we were hesitant about building an AI because everyone else is building AI apps. And this is a huge gap in between those things, right? So it feels like We are living in an age of such extremes. Yes, a lot of people building AI apps and doing really cool shit with AI and just like really getting ahead, but this is such a fraction of percentage of people doing that. The majority of people are still learning, and maybe they took one step and they were discouraged. They felt, I'm just going to wait till it becomes better, and that set them back. And so like majority of people are on this journey just figuring it out. And I think for me personally, because this is my passion, this is my skill. I've been working in AI space since 2018, right? Like I've been really into the space on a corporate side. So very recently I pivoted to become like building my own company with AI. So it's still very different. Like I had to acquire a totally new set of skills and learn all the new tools, but this is truly my passion. So I find myself on that spectrum where I feel like everyone is already doing it. Everyone is so advanced. And the reality is, like in my circles, in my networks of highly like intellectual people, like really people with brilliant careers, extremely smart, not all of them have even given it a fair try. And by fair try, I mean going beyond just using it as Google or going beyond just doing fun things in it, but actually seeing what it can do for your life, for your career, for a business. So I just feel there is such a span here, and some people are held behind because they feel so behind. They don't really talk to people about that, and they would love to learn, but they can't really find their crowd because they feel like everyone else is ahead. Anyhow, I think trying to figure it out on your own gets so overwhelming with all the like noise that is out there. I think that's why surrounding yourself with other people who are also on the learning curve, who are also experimenting, who are also not afraid to be beginners is such a game changer. And I feel like you can really learn faster. It just becomes more fun. You can share ideas, you can give each other feedback, you can stay inspired. And once someone shares a use case that you had no idea is possible, you get motivation and new tools to try. And you also realize I don't have to have everything figured out by myself. That's exactly why I'm creating AI Solopreneur Club, which is a membership for people who are building one-person businesses, who are building online businesses, who are solopreneurs, creators, and really want to leverage AI and automation in a way that feels good to them, that feels authentic. So that's why I'm creating this membership for people like this to connect with each other, to give each other feedback, to build together, to collaborate, and to learn together. If that sounds like something you would be interested in, make sure to sign up for the waitlist for this community. It hasn't been launched yet. I'm really excited about that. So use whoever you can find in the space who is curious about it and make sure that you learn together. So number 7 is comparing the same tasks across different tools. So for example, if you want to help write a newsletter for my audience, and then you just run this prompt with different LLMs, you will start to notice the differences, right? So you will see that ChatGPT is really good in brainstorming ideas like really fast and informating and giving you fast writing, but you would also notice and learn with time that you will see these phrases in your text that you would see everywhere else. There's this very specific things. For example, it's not a bug, it's a feature. Or like starting sentences with a question mark. Like this is ChatGPT in action. And you will learn that, you will understand that. But then at the same time, when you run the same prompt with Claude, you will see that Claude is so much better for nuance, for like longer context, for keeping your tone of voice. It actually has a feature to create your tone of voice or your style of writing. So if you haven't seen this video, make sure you watch it after this one. I just recently recorded this mini tutorial. And then we have Notebook LM, which is a great tool for research, creating, like feeding a lot of structured info, making sure that all the sources are verified, creating mind maps for it, for your text, doing some really in-depth market research. But it's not really great at writing. Like the text that you get back, like it is like a researcher wrote it, so it's not really suitable for social media, in my opinion, unless you really prompt it. But those kind of subtle differences and things you will start noticing, and it wouldn't make sense for you unless you try. So until you try and until you see it and they see the difference, and then you can go to Perplexity and do the same thing, and you will understand that Perplexity really is incredible in identifying the trends and getting the latest insights on certain topics, like what has happened in the news or in this space, in this niche, like, and it can really thread it together to give you this overview so you can stay up to date. So every LLM has its own kind of superpower, and by running simple prompts and comparing what it can do, you will naturally learn that which one to use for which purpose. So next is creating your prompt library. Whenever you feel like you found a prompt or you created some output that is really great, make sure that you save it. I don't feel so strongly about this one. I wanted to mention it because I think if you're in the beginning and if you have some repetitive tasks, like that could be really helpful. So for example, you can create in the Notion for content creation, for product launches, for workflow automation, like for branding, for newsletter writing, YouTube creation, whatever. You can create those categories in Notion, or you can create this project in ChatGPT to make sure that those prompts are there or the whole context is there. But the reason why I don't feel so strongly about prompts themselves, and that's a controversial idea, I feel people get so hung up on prompts and creating a perfect prompt that I want to say like that matters less and less the further those tools develop. Is it important to understand how to prompt? Yes, but I think once you nail the basics, once you understand that you have to provide the context, that you can have to give it a goal, maybe assign a role, ask what kind of format you want. There's just these basic things that you need to know. And once you know that, I really don't think you should be obsessing about becoming super good in prompting. And that's just my opinion. In my experience, I see so much better results when I'm free prompting or vibe prompting, how I call it. I just like brain dump a lot of things into the voice memo in ChatGPT or Claude or whatever LLM I'm using, and then I'm asking it to perform certain tasks with that. But I think in the beginning, again, if something worked really well for you, just make a note of it, and maybe I want to share it with someone. Just do it. That's really good, but don't get hung up on this too much. Tip number nine is making AI a part of your daily workflow. This is another thing that I keep hearing is people like, oh, I really need to make time to learn AI. Like I really need to take a weekend and go all in on this. That's not how it works. Imagine if you want to get in shape and you want to build muscle. Like this is exactly the same thing. In order to do that, you have to go to the gym regularly. You have to eat protein regularly. You have to do this small iterations or small sessions, like 15 minutes workout is so much better than you would just wait the whole week and do a 2-hour workout in the weekend. It's really about the habit and it's about building that muscle. Using AI is a skill. Becoming good at it is a skill. And in order to do that, you have to do it more or less daily. And if that sounds like intimidating, you would realize really fast that it's not that intimidating. It's just like it's new to you. That's why it feels a bit intimidating. So stop waiting for that AI time or time to learn AI. Really use it in your daily life. So for example, I've heard somewhere in a podcast, the guy was sharing this tip, like he had this post-it next to his desk saying, how can AI help? And he's had this posted and he looked at it every time. So every time he sits on this computer to do a certain task, to write an email, to draft something, to create some social media content, like every time he would see that posted and he would just like, let me see what ChatGPT can do, and goes to ChatGPT saying, hey, this is my task, this is what I'm dealing with right now. How can you help? Asking AI to actually, how can you help if you don't know how it can help? So I thought it was such a simple tip. And so if that works for you, just create a post-it like this, put it on your desk so you see it every single day, every single time you're approaching a new task, and just experiment and just start those conversations. And maybe the first ones won't be that great, and that's fine. And you'll just follow up. For example, let's say it's Monday and you're starting your week. Maybe I can take a screenshot of my calendar and show ChatGPT and ask how am I spending my time? And it will give you feedback, like what should I prioritize? Helping writing emails, helping getting feedback on your copy or whatever you're working on. Then after you've done with whatever you're working at, help it to repurpose. It really can be anything, any small task, any small thing you're working on. Just, can I help? Ask it. So the more you use it casually and consistently, the more confident and intuitive this process will become for you. I can promise you that. It really happens by doing, not learning, not planning to learn it. And I cannot emphasize this enough. If you take anything away from this video, the only way you're going to learn and become better is by doing it. So number 10 is let AI teach you, become your teacher in any process. Understand that AI is a ridiculously good teacher, and you can ask it to hold your hand through anything. So for example, you go into ChatGPT, you have a task, and you can just like ask, what should I understand about this and this before I do this? What other gaps are you seeing in this and this when I do it? Like, what is the feedback you would give me if you were this? From different angles, but just ask it to teach you basically how to navigate a certain thing or how to use a certain thing. If you think in your life, if some kitchen supply, like appliance breaks, right? and you just don't know how to fix it. What I do right now, I just take a picture and I ask ChatGPT, take a picture of the model. I'm like, tell me what to do, what's wrong. I literally fix like a dishwasher by just doing this. It helped me to see which setting I should run to fix the problem that it had. I didn't even need to find any instructions. I didn't know what they were to start with. It can just teach you things, and it can hold your hand through the things you go through every day. And I think that's a great way to learn. So either it's in your business, career stuff, or just personal life, logistics, it could be anything. You have to really become good in asking questions. So everything pretty much starts with a question. So I think asking questions and have good imagination and curiosity is a much more valuable skill than prompt engineering, in my opinion. Number 11 is basically like vibe coding as a way to learn AI, right? So we have tools now like Lovable, Bolt that I've already mentioned. Lovable, I just like absolutely adore this tool by how easy it is. And you honestly, you don't have to have any technical background even to start creating with it. And it lets you create like websites, apps, fully functional apps. I think for me, and I know for people, actually building something is such a great learning experience that really accelerates like your mastery. I feel like you just go into Lovable and build something for yourself. So we've already walked through that in the previous points, but I just really want to emphasize this here because by playing around with these tools and by creating something that is tangible, you're gonna learn so much faster. You're gonna be so proud of yourself. It's jumping in a deep water and then you just get out of it. That was fresh. You are going to be so proud, and which means that it will give you confidence to go and learn more and improve over time. The reason why I wanted to emphasize this separate point, like it gives this shot of dopamine, almost like when you create something and you're like, wow, I just made this, right? It gives so much more satisfaction than just get like a real cool output from ChatGPT. It's actually you created something with your hands. And I think that can really accelerate your learning. So if you've been waiting for the right time to learn AI, this is it. You don't need to wait anymore. Now you know that just by approaching it differently, you can get so much better results, and it doesn't need to be perfect. You don't need to feel ready to start. Just pick one of these 11 and build with it. Solve something, create something, help someone with something. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you stay in the loop when the new videos are released. I would love to hear from you. Which one are you committing to try this weekend? Let me know, and I can't wait to see what you're going to be building. And if you're an online entrepreneur or solopreneur and you feel like you're really ready to accelerate your journey with AI and automation for your business, make sure to check out. I have a couple of one-on-one slots available this month for AI coaching, for AI consulting. If you're interested in that, just book that call with me, and then we can see how I can help you to just like really. And if you're an online business owner or solopreneur or someone who's scaling their online business and you know that you really need to leverage AI and automation, but you just feel overwhelmed by everything that's happening in the space and you don't even know where to start, I have a couple of one-on-one coaching slots available this month. So make sure to check that out in the description below so we can work closer together and help you scale your business with AI and automation. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.